Kyle Larson, the youngster from California, making his NASCAR Sprint Cup Series debut and doing pretty darn well, Doc.
Indeed he is, and I talked to him a little bit ago before the race. He said, he knows he's carrying the torch for legions of short track friends, all those dirt track racers who wanted to chase their dreams someday and come to NASCAR. Well, here's a young man who has done it at the age of 21. He said expectation tonight, maybe a top 20. But when I spoke with Chip Ganassi, he said, oh, no, this kid is that good. We can run in the top 15, if not better. Right now, he's 12th, and he says, you know what? Don't change anything on the cars and tires. I'm learning. We're going to get better and better. He's already moving up.
So that's Larson, 21-year-old. Again, I mentioned from California in his NASCAR Sprint Cup Series debut. Another driver making his debut in this race is Brian Scott, the 25-year-old that we've seen now over the past handful of years in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series and then now NASCAR Nationwide Series. And here he is tonight again with a big thrill and his first Sprint Cup Series race.
Yeah, these drivers picked a difficult racetrack to be making their start at, but a lot do. And the opportunities here, and you appreciate that. Brian Scott really enjoys running on the mile-and-a-half racetracks in the Nationwide Series and has done really well in those. So having a solid night here. Kyle Larson doing exceptional, and Kyle Larson's going to be—he's a star in the making for this series.
The caution flag just waving, debris in turn number 3, third yellow of the night. Kyle Larson free pass on the caution. 16th place car will come back around onto the lead lap. There you see Kevin Harvick all the way at the end of that line. Almost went a lap down there. So 16 cars on the lead lap. I mentioned Kyle Larson getting the free pass to come back around. All of the chasers except Greg Biffle and Joey Logano are on the lead lap. Biffle in 17th, Logano in 18th, -1 to the race leader.
The Hendrick Motorsports cars, very good. The Hendrick engines, perhaps a few issues tonight, starting with the 14 of Mark Martin. He blew up earlier.
Yeah, Mark Martin's running Hendrick engines in that Tony Stewart car right there. He blew up big time. You see that just oil all over Jimmy Johnson's windshield. And just now, Kyle Larson with the Hendrick Motorsports engine in that 51, it just blew up. They're pushing the car behind the wall as we speak.
And, we heard people say that, are they worried? And we talked about valve springs and things like that. We heard on the scanner, we thought that was Mark Martin's problem. Now with the 51 going behind the wall, I'm sure that Mr. Hendrick is a little nervous if his guys start to hear some noises.
Yeah, guys are pushing them really, really hard. The speeds are maintaining right now, actually getting a little bit quicker as it cools off. A lot of stress on these engines. We're going to see what's happening.
Yeah, guys, the track is changing big time right now. We heard our pit reporters talking about it. The track is cooling off. We got more RPMs being turned right now. Our mile per hour at the end of the straightaway, about 194 miles an hour. These things are really cranking around this racetrack right now.
Certainly something to keep an eye on, Alan.
Well, Nicole, that engine strainer still has 78 laps to go, and we'll see if anything throws a little twist of plot into this one as we get into the closing laps. There's Mr. Hendrick looking on.
Yeah, with Kyle Larson's car, I would think they may be trying something, maybe a little different on that one because it's just a one-off race. But the fact that Mark Martin's engine blew up in Tony Stewart's 14, that worries me a little bit.